All right, Ted, no bits today. I just want to get right into it. Let's just shoot the video. Ted, come back. Where did you go? We're supposed to shoot the video on teleporting today. Oh, I get it. Real funny, man. Real funny. All right, once I get Ted back here, we're going to shoot a video on the ultimate D&D teleporter character build. Welcome to Nerdarchy. For nerds, by nerds. I'm Nerdarchy Steve, and as usual, I'm hanging out with this nerd.
Nerdarchy Ted.
Hey, maybe it's your first time visiting Ted's basement. It's a place where we like to discuss news, views, and homebrews for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. Sometimes we even talk about other role-playing games.
So if you don't want to miss a single video, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and to tune to that notification bell.
All right, Ted, so what are we talking about today?
So Doug came up with this whole idea of, let's see how many different ways there are to teleport and build that teleporting character who's bouncing all over the place. I look back to one of my favorite Marvel characters, Nightcrawler, who could teleport at whim. So it was like, all right, well, could you do something like that?
Yeah, and that's absolutely it. We're not going to do our, 1 through 20 character build. This is more like the Ultimate Armor class build where we kind of like put together all the options and look at them and see which ones would fit together nicely. And then you folks, can build it however you want. All right, so before we jump into that and get to that teleporter build, we do have something for you folks, a contest that you can get in, sponsored by Wayward Masquerade, the creators of
Bag Thulu. So if you're looking for an awesome dice bag that's going to be unlike the other dice bags that your other friends are carrying, you might want to look into this. Now, they had the dragon baggins in the past, and they've moved on from dragons, and now you can have your own little Cthulhu. It opens up. You've got plenty of space to put your dice in it. It's going to come with, 4d6 with a cool Cthulhu on your one. Great for rolling your stats because, who wants to roll a 1 and summon the, Elder Gods?
So if you don't win the contest and win Bag Thulu, then you can always go over to Wayward Masquerade. There will be a link in the description along with that Gleam contest where you can just purchase one, or maybe you prefer dragons over the great old one. Why choose the lesser evil? Don't go with evil at all. Choose a dragon. So you'll be able to check that out down in the description. With that, let's jump back into our video and talk about teleporting.
All right, so we know that there are a lot of different ways that one can teleport. It's not just, a single spell that allow you to, bounce all over the place. So where do we start?
Well, I think the first thing we should look at is we're going to look at both racial features and class features as well as spells that are going to allow us to teleport. Let's start with races, and there's a few of them that are going to actually allow us to teleport, although most of them are elf.
So I know we have our Eladrin and the Eladrin variant both give us, a little bit of a pop, a teleport, if you will. There's also the Shatterkai.
Yes, both are elf sub-races, and they're going to give you a form of teleportation. So right there we have basically 3 options. 2 of them are ones that are, basically right out of the books that you can use. The third one is the variant, that's the DMG version, which your DM may or may not allow into the game. But then there's another one. If you're allowing things from Eberron and you're playing in Eberron, House Orion is one of the variant humans you could choose, and they also get the Mark of Passage, which basically once per day, you basically get like a teleport for you and a friend.
So that's pretty nice. That's 4 different options racially that we can look at if you were looking to, want to get a ultimate teleporter. So normally, like your options are limited when you go to race and when you're trying to tie down into, dive down into something that specific. So that's actually really cool that we have that many options to play with.
Right. So we got those 4. So when we go into character classes, we have quite a few features to look at. There's 5 different ones.
So, obviously it was like, you got casters, so your sorcerer and your wizard are going to be the first that are most prevalent as your teleporters, because they're the ones that get that, arcane magic.
Yeah, but I'm talking class features. I'm not even talking spellcasters specifically. So fighter, monk, ranger, sorcerer, and wizard all have abilities that allow them to teleport that have nothing to do with casting spells.
Well, those all sound like some pretty awesome things if you're not actually talking about using spell slots. So let's dive into those.
All right, Fighter Eldritch Knight gets Arcane Charge. When they use their Action Surge, which is an awesome ability all unto itself, they also get a teleport out of that.
Monk, Way of the Shadow, is going to get their Shadow Step ability, and that is going to be, they can just step from shadow to shadow. Pretty useful.
Worth pointing out that Arcane Charge from Eldritch Knight is a 15th level ability. You got to be pretty high at the level to do it. But that Shadow Step from the Monk is only a 6th level ability, and the only limiting factor is, do you have Shadow or Dim Light or Darkness in order to use Shadow Step?
Given the number of characters that I've seen lately that are using darkness all the time, I think it's going to be pretty prevalent.
Now we're going to go to Ranger. Ranger, more specifically, the Horizon Walker. They get an ability called Distant Strike, and basically they can get like a 10-foot teleport between their attacks.
They don't get this ability till 11th level. It's super rare, but when it comes up, it's going to be like, bam, this is awesome, this is perfect. This is why I took this class.
Now, next up, we have Shadow Magic from the Sorcerer. It's a 14th level ability. It's just like Shadow Step, only better. The range is doubled, 120 feet instead of a mere 60 feet. But you have to wait, nearly double the amounts of levels in order to even get it.
The 6th level Conjuration Wizard is going to get Benign Transposition.
This is a great ability. It basically allows you to get a mini teleport, kind of like Misty Step, or you can switch places with an ally. So strategically, you're going to have different things you can do with this. You can do it once per long rest, but the caveat is it refreshes when you cast a conjuration spell, which teleportation spells are. So, depending on how many times you're going to teleport, you can be refreshing this ability over and over again. This
is great for, when the wizard is grappled. You can switch with your stronger ally who can be able to break out far easier than you can. Change places in a lot of different ways. Super helpful. And as Dave says, these are all just specific class abilities and not actually using spell slots. So we're part of the way through. What else do we have to work with?
All right, next we're moving into spells. We have 8 different spells from 2nd to 7th level. Tons of options here.
So these are all spells that are going to be, I am here, and when I finish casting this spell, I have the capability of being somewhere else. And right off the bat, we get Misty Step.
So Misty Step is a 2nd level ability. 3rd level, you get Thunder Step, which is basically, it's like Misty Step, but you can do damage to people as well. 4th level, Dimension Door, 500 feet, so it's a bit further than a Misty Step. But not only that, you can take a buddy with you as well.
So Far Step is we get at 5th level, and this is kind of like Misty Step, but it's concentration, so that you can keep using it on your turn as a bonus action. This really fits in for, you want to keep bamfing around like Nightcrawler. This is kind of the go-to. 2 more 5th level spells are Steel Wind Strike, which again, that allows you to teleport up to basically 5 times, do damage with each one of them, and then end near anyone you attacked, whether you hit them or miss. So it's a bit of a teleport and it's a damage effect. That's a 5th level spell. Another 5th level is Tree Stride. And basically this is like the Druid or Ranger version where you dive into a tree and pop out another tree someplace else. Yeah, really useful in a lot of different ways. Definitely recommend using that one.
So 6th level, we get Scatter. Scatter is a great spell. It's a lot of fun. Basically, you cast it, and then you can teleport you and your allies in 120 feet in any direction. So basically, you scatter with a teleport.
Really useful. And then, of course, our last one is 7th level, the Ye Old Teleport. You need to go somewhere. Bam, you are there.
I really want to go, kind of going back to Scatter, I really want to be playing a wizard that has this spell and ready the action. So when the enemy launches the fireball, you cast Scatter and like no one is in range anymore.
That is pretty hilarious to get into. All right, so now we've talked about all of the different options, and we have to kind of put together what we would feel would be the best method to actually make the teleport, as we did with the Ultimate Armor class.
All right, so we're gonna put them together, right? So you can pick any of the races that we talked about. It doesn't really matter where you go with that. They're all gonna give you another teleport ability. I think going with one of the Eladrin might be better because I think it refreshes on a short rest as opposed to a long rest. And then if you combine that with Way of the Shadow Monk, 6 levels, and then you go all the way Conjuration Wizard, 14th levels. That's going to give you a bunch of spell casting. You're going to get high enough spell slots in order to get all the way up to the Uber Teleport, which is teleport.
Right.
And you're going to have lots of things to work with.
So I was kind of vying for this option. Eladrin, our elves, they've got the pointy ears. The adding in the monk means you've got the ability to be able to punch and kick.
You're going back to Nightcrawler,
so
aren't you?
All of this was be like, all right, I can really make Nightcrawler with all of this, bamfing around, punching, kicking, and doing all of this really cool stuff. So yeah, this was Nightcrawler.
So now we're looking at having 13 spell slots that we could just dump all into teleportation. And when you combine that with Arcane Recovery, which we can get back up to, 7 levels of spell slots during a short rest, that gives us a lot of casting.
So your Arcane Recovery only allows you to get up to 5th level spells when you short rest. So if you're getting up to 7, you can get your Far Step and your Misty Step back so that you can keep doing, those Nightcrawler bamfing around on your bonus actions all the time. I think it'd be a lot of fun. But as you keep doing these things, you've got up to 14 times, per day that you're going to be able to use your Benign Transposition. There's so many different things that you can dive into and really just be like, yep, I'm all over the place.
So, just doing the quick and dirty math, we're figuring at least 28 teleports a day. That's a lot of teleporting. That's a lot of jumping around. I'm getting a little nauseous just thinking about it, to be honest with you.
That's talking about the number of things that you can do just once. But I mean, if you're talking about recasting Far Step, every time you've done a short rest, that's 10 times every time you cast that spell. So it's going to be a lot more than 28.
Yeah, I hope you don't get teleportation sick, because on this one you definitely will. But let us know what you think down in the comments below. Have you made a build like this before? Check out that contest. Get some Bag Thulu in your life. Or Dragon Baggins from Wayward Masquerade. Before we head on out, let me take a moment to invite you to join Nerdarchy, the adventuring party over on Patreon. What can I expect over there, Ted?
We're creating products for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons that both players and DMs alike can drop right into their game.
But that's not all. We do monthly giveaways, and our patrons are automatically entered.
We do weekly hangouts with our patrons and more.
So quest on down to the description, join the Nerdarchy Adventuring Party, and until next time,
stay nerdy.